Hello to everyone who is actually watching and is a part of. We would like you to welcome you in to our Cancer Survivor Sunday. Me personally, and I'm speaking from experience myself being a cancer survivor, you have to know it to be a part of it. And so I'm really blessed that God has sent these three beautiful people to share their story.
My name is Alicia Green,
Katrina Cherry.
Dominic Tyson, and this is my story.
This is my story.
and this is my story.
I was diagnosed in 2007, I believe it was May of 2007. I was diagnosed with multiple myeloma.
Stage 2 non-Hodgkin's lymphoma.
Ovarian cancer.
Actually, the way I found out was a little shocking to me because
Share.
my primary doctor took a chest x-ray and said she saw something, and she sent me to a specialist. So when I went to the specialist, he said nothing he could do, but he's referring me to someone else.
Jesus.
But his exact words were, it was not cancer. So, I'm not thinking nothing. Went home, told my wife and all. I went to this other specialist, which happened to be an oncology center. So now I'm sitting in the waiting room and I'm looking at all the patients, and all of them have cancer. So I'm saying, do I belong here, or is there something, my mind is all over the place. So when I actually go to see the doctor, he says, you're here because you have cancer. And I was like, oh, boom, boom, And I said, no, I didn't. I said, doctor, I forget the doctor's name, but he told me that it wasn't cancer. The doctor that I was with said, he shouldn't have told you that. Well, what it is you have multiple myeloma, that's cancer of the blood plasma. And what we're going to do is we're going to give you 10 radiation treatments to remove the lesion on your rib. And after that, we're going to have you in here once a month to get medication, which will be Zometa. And then we'll talk about the chemo. So I said, okay. So, when I left, I was upset. I was crying, actually, in the car. Because a whole bunch of feelings just jumped all over. You think about your wife, your kids, and what's going to happen. You're confused because you don't know.
Let me ask you this question. What was your initial feeling when you found out about you had cancer?
Jesus.
Oh boy. My initial feeling, of course I was scared, but I felt hopeless. I felt
Jesus.
helpless. I went through being angry.
Come on now. It's all right. It's all right. It's all right.
Just so happened the last time I did go to the doctor, and they were actually led up to me having a surgery where they thought they were going to be taking out my fibroids. And we went to a pre-op appointment. And at the pre-op appointment, everything fell apart. Like everything that I've been
Jesus.
telling the doctor came full front,
Yes.
for him to see. So that night, that day, he actually told me, he said, you're going to have emergency surgery. I called my mom, in tears and all that other good stuff. Called my mom and let her know, like, hey, you got to go get my daughter. They're sending me over to emergency surgery. After they brought me back is when I found out that the doctor said he couldn't do the surgery, and he couldn't find two orange size fibroids and one lemon size fibroid. He couldn't find them.
Honestly, I didn't know how to feel at first. You know,
Jesus.
I went through different periods of different emotions, you know.
Okay.
It was
okay.
that not understanding, you know, wanting to know more.
Okay.
That period of anger.
Yes.
And then that period when I decided to fight. I think it humbled me more.
Oh my God.
You know, it made me care about other people more.
Jesus.
You know, when I would go into the oncology facility to get the chemotherapy, I would just pray.
Jesus.
You know, in the
Yes.
parking lot, I would start praying. You know,
Yes.
once I got in, you know, my first visit, I was in a state of shock at how many people
Wow.
were being affected by something that, you know, could potentially take them out.
But God got me through it. But not only did he get me through it, he got me through it with no pain at any time. Did I have any pain? For 20 minutes, I had to sit there with intravenous in my hand and get this drug. And so, but while I'm sitting there, people were coming in with blankets, little portable TVs, and I'm there for 20 minutes. These people are there, some for 2 hours, some for 6, some for the whole day. And I saw a couple of people who had multiple myeloma. One of them was in a wheelchair, all swollen and carrying on. And so I'm looking at that and I said, whoa, you know, that's what I have. You know. And another one wasn't as bad as the one in the wheelchair, but I remember that the face was swollen and they had a lot of pain. And I just sit there to myself and I said, I thank God for getting me through this. I said, whatever it is you want me to do, I'm willing to do.
My daughter went through this whole thing with me, seeing me sick, seeing me not being able to function, actually taking care of me. And that was the only saving grace for me because I knew that God blessed me with her.
Yes.
So until that chapter of my life was actually closed, I still had a responsibility to raise her. That was my blessing. I was told I would never have kids. But God blessed me with her.
Share about that.
I can't even imagine, can't even fathom, you know, that this was, to me, I feel, you know, the cancer diagnosis, you know, me having to go through chemotherapy and, you know, blood transfusions and everything, that my outcome would be him blessing me with a beautiful, healthy baby boy. And 2 years after my chemotherapy treatment, I delivered a healthy baby boy.
Jesus.
And still to this day, I cry every day, thanking God
My God.
for his blessing.
Yes. Amen. Such a gift. But let me ask you this question. What brought you through?
God, honestly.
Jesus.
Just knowing that if he can get me from day to day, I had to decide to take it one moment at a time, one day at a time.
After the 10 radiation treatments, I went back to the doctor. The doctor said, well, you're not gonna have chemo because the protein that we measure is so small we can't get a reading.
When they gave me my 5-year, you clear,
Jesus.
I felt relieved in a sense, but at that point, I felt the transition that God always, He promised me that He was gonna have me. I stopped trusting in Him.
Yes.
And then someday He left me and gave me to deal with, and you're on your own. But I let cancer become more than Christ. So I just thank God that at this point in my life, I can look back.
Yes.
Sorry. I can look back and see that God had me. And he didn't have to. He didn't have to prove himself. But he did. For me.
Yes. Thank you, Jesus.
For me.
He's amazing.
Isn't he?
He's so amazing.
Yes, he is.
I put it all in God's hands, and here I am now.
No. You're gonna make me cry. So, with everything you went through, what can you share with people who are, that would see this? What would you tell them?
Trust in God, put it in His faith, and think of others before yourself. He'll be there listening and help you.
Okay, amen. Amen.
One day at a time, one moment at a time, and trust in God.
Yeah.
Trust in Him, because He will see you through. What looks like it may be this burden on you, I promise you, will be a blessing in the end.
Yes.
To a person that's going through cancer and want to give up. I know cancer is a big C, but we know a God that's a bigger C. Christ died for us, and in His death, He took all sickness. So to trust Him wholeheartedly, I know it's something hard to do, but trust Him. Because until God put the period on your life, you have no right to stop what God has done and began in you. He created you. So He already knew that this was going to happen. He just wants you to trust in Him, to let Him get the glory out of your situation.